Iron Man and Philosophy, Facing the Stark Reality. Edited by Mark D. White. Narrated by Adam Verner. Iron Introductions. Strange how much I owe to my life-giving transistors. They not only power my Iron Man armor, but they keep my injured heart beating so that Tony Stark can remain alive. My very existence is hanging by an electric cord. Well, enough philosophy for now. If I know my women, and nobody knows them better than Tony Stark. Tales of Suspense, number 53, May 1964. Well, that may be enough philosophy for Tony Stark, but it's definitely not enough for the contributors to the book you're listening to, not to mention its humble editor. For nearly 40 years, comics buffs, and more recently movie fans, have thrilled to the adventures of the Armored Avenger Iron Man, and the romantic and business exploits of the man behind the mask, Tony Stark. But compared to other celebrated superheroes, Iron Man looks like a straightforward character. Tony's not a deeply tortured soul like Batman, or a perennial outcast like each of Uncanny X-Men, and he's not a front for a harsh portrayal of abuse of power like the characters of Watchmen. He's a guy in a shiny metal suit who fights bad guys. So what can philosophers possibly say about him? As it turns out, plenty. A certain web-slinger we know is fond of saying that with great power comes great responsibility, and Iron Man certainly wields great power. But does he show great responsibility? Does he behave ethically, and does he reason philosophically? Is there a downside to the tremendous technological advances that form Iron Man's incredible armor? And is his true superpower the armor of Iron Man or the intelligence of Tony Stark? Speaking of whom, Tony Stark is infamous for his playboy persona, or to put it more bluntly, his alcoholic womanizing. So how do these character flaws reflect on Iron Man the hero? Despite the glitz, glamour, and gleaming armor, is tragedy actually the defining aspect of Tony Stark's life? As you listen to this book, I hope you come to agree, if you didn't already, that even the most normal of superheroes can inspire fascinating philosophical questions. Stan Lee may not have realized it at the time, but when he took a brilliant, handsome, and wealthy weapons manufacturer and turned his life upside down, he created a character with enough inner and outer turmoil to inspire stories like Demon in a Bottle, Armor Wars, and The Mask and the Iron Man, just to name a few. And Iron Man has more than enough depth to inspire philosophers like us, and that includes you, dear listeners, to think about power, responsibility, intelligence, virtue, technology, and just what it must feel like to soar into the sky with jet-powered boots. I'm still waiting for the last one. Someday. Part 1. The Nuts and Bolts of Tony Stark. 1. The Stark Madness of Technology. By George A. Dunn. For me, it was the jet boots. Not that I didn't also covet that incredible array of weapons built into Tony Stark's armor, the repulsor rays, missile launchers, pulse beams, and flamethrowers, but it was those jet boots that really got me salivating. To my pre-adolescent mind, it was Tony's marvelous ability to lift himself off the ground and soar through the clouds that made him a bona fide superhero, not just some hotshot engineer outfitted with an admittedly awesome arsenal of weapons. After all, the prefix super comes from a Latin word meaning above, so to watch a real superhero in action, you should need to crane your neck and look up into the sky. But the jet boots were also emblematic of what, to my mind, was the most glorious thing about Tony's way of being a superhero. Unlike, say, Reed Richards of the Fantastic Four, Tony wasn't simply someone who happened to be a superhero in addition to being a hotshot engineer. He was a superhero because of those jet boots and the enviable power they gave him, which is to say that it was his extraordinary engineering prowess that allowed him to make himself super, without having to wait around for gamma rays or a radioactive
Sample complete. Ready to continue?